fellow survivors, thrivers, and healers. I am Nutri-Dermatologist, founder of Thrivers Inspire Healing. And today we have a special guest, Mrs. Tawanna, who has had 8 years of experience keeping our skin healthy and clean, moisturized. Please welcome her to our platform. Mrs. Tawanna, will you please let everyone know a little bit about your company and your experience with keeping the skin healthy?
Hi, everyone. She introduced me very well, so I'm not going to re-say that. I am the owner of Adbassa Beauty, and Adbassa Beauty has been in business since 2014. I started off as because there's different levels to the beauty industry, okay? And as you move up, you learn more. And I'm one of those type of people where I'm constantly learning from people that's already successful. I'm very open-minded in everything that I do. When I first started in 2014, honestly, I didn't know what I was doing. I just knew that I wanted to help people, and I knew that I loved skin. Skin for me is very important because I had a really bad accident when I was in middle school, like years ago.
Oh, wow.
And it traumatized me by a dermatologist. And it just kind of left me really like in a really gray area in my life and not just really trusting doctors, physicians, just in general. I suffered and I had to miss school for almost like a whole year, half a year,
Wow.
because the damage was so bad to my skin, the allergic reaction. And a lot of people don't know that, but that was the breaking point for me where I decided to go into skincare or just study it. So I kind of just started off trying to figure out how the skin works. And this is before I got certified in anything. This is just me going on the internet, researching, just diving deep. I mean, like I just studied. I went to the library. I was just so intrigued because the damage done to me, I was, I guess, trying to like heal myself.
Mm-hmm.
Because like the creams and all of that, like pharmaceuticals, they just really wasn't working for me. So I just wanted to go and just heal myself on my own. So by me studying, this is where I started to really feel like I could do this as a living, to help and educate people that, hey, it's more to skin than people think. It's not all about skin creams. It's not all about medication. It's from the inside out.
Yeah.
And here in the United States, they don't really teach that. But you have schools around the globe that actually cater to this type of education. Like, for example, in the United Kingdom, they're really big on education when it comes to health. So a lot of things that's banned here in the United States is a go in the United Kingdom. Because like, for example, like cheese, like certain cheeses we eat here is banned there. So they're really big on plants, plant living and things like that. So when I first got my first certification, I wanted to really have a sound background knowledge that not so much you can't find anywhere else, but just something that was so deep to where it was undeniable, like so that I could explain it more to my customers. So I went to a school, international open academy, I'm sorry. And it's like a diverse international school, and it's based out of the UK. And I did about a year with that school, and it was based on skin and just body care, just on a advanced level that they don't teach you here in the United States.
Oh,
they
wow.
teach you skincare here, but the school that I attended and got that particular reward or certification in that area of skin included like different races, even down to the regimen of each race. And I've never really heard it that way.
Neither have I. And I'm like very fascinated by that. Like, I want to learn it myself too, because it's like, that's like, people just think, oh, it's just the skin, you know, but we have so many different chemical components and different amounts of melanin in itself. So I think that's really amazing that it really got down deep into that skin, that cellular chemical level.
Yes. And by me being always the type of person to be like kind of like scientific and open-minded, and just my intellect was just into those type of things growing up. I'm like, okay, I can go this amount of years being a traditional dermatologist, but I feel like, not to say it's a waste of time, but I feel like I wanted to just insert in my mind and body and spirit more from the nutritional standpoint that a lot of them don't like to discuss. And something that I found interesting is in science, in the scientific world, by going to school, we had to do a lot of these assignments based off scientific information. It's a real database.
Oh, wow.
I would like to give it up, but I'm not going to give it up because it's mostly for scientists and doctors. I'm not going to give it up because it was a privilege for me to know it, okay? And every person doesn't give up all their dues, okay? So there's like a database that's for nutritionists, dietitians, doctors, physicians, anybody that's dealing with healthcare or just helping people in general service. There's a database, a scientific database that a lot of them follow. And by me having access to that database, there's a lot of scientific research or findings that has not been made to the public, but it has been backed up already by scientists, even down to plant food. So I hope I'm not jumping, but with this international school, I got my certification. And then from there, I just kept diving in. The skin products and everything that came in before the certification.
Okay.
Yeah, that came in way before. I honestly started making soap first. That was like my first project. I was actually teaching youth in Savannah, Georgia, how to make lip balm, and make like basic soap and things like that. And I was taught by I was going to this training of a group of ladies that was like soap makers. And I was attending the classes like every week, going once a week, and I was learning like how to make the basis of soap, cold press, melt and pour. I just learned it all. But I wasn't really telling anybody what I was doing. I was just learning it from myself. And then that's when I took what they taught me and I took it to a whole nother level. I'm like,
yeah,
I gotta take this to a whole nother level, not just for everyone else, but just mainly too for my own kind, because studying in the dermatology world, a lot of the dermatologists today, they don't have the same approach to melanated skin as they do as lighter skin tones. And this has been wrote in their studies for centuries or years of how to properly care for lighter skin. So
yeah,
it's like that in certain demographic areas, even with cosmetology, they're not being taught how to like really cater to like melanated people. So the approach is very, very different. And I think that we're in a great time where people are really acknowledging that. So when it comes to highlighting the difference in races, skin types, and being careful how you treat each person based off their genetics,
right.
To me, it feels like true caring, because I'm not going to take the same approach for a Caucasian as I would an African. I wouldn't do that, because biologically they're not the same. And I think when people start realizing that, then the process will be a little bit smoother. So
right.
yeah, so that's with that certification that I got. And then shortly after that, I enrolled into a more expensive school where I paid payments every month. It was a school of biology, science, and anti-aging nutrients and dermatology. So that's also on an international level as well. And I've been doing that one for about 2 years. And I'm actually in a few weeks about to graduate finally.
Oh, okay. Congratulations.
It's been a long time. And like, so I've learned so much from them. Oh my God, like epigenetics, telomere shorting, biology 1, 2, science 1 and 2. I mean, genomics, malnutrition. I mean, the true meaning behind melanin. And it was this school that really made it whole for me. This school is what really brought out I feel like the hidden talents that I've always had, like just from a whole new level, like just diving into the cellular level, and the science of the skin was just phenomenal. And it just made me see the world very, very different. So I hope I didn't talk.
No, it's just fine. It's just fine. And you know, that is very interesting. Like you said, about the different genetics, and even with a lot of studies on medicines, they have found that certain medicines, they try to get a lot of people in the different trials of the medicines because they want to see how it reacts with different genetics. So there is some, you know, real science into being able to treat people, you know, based on their genetics. And actually, conversing with you, this is actually the first time I have heard of an actual school that, you know, dedicates to studying these genetics and how best to heal the skin through that science. And I think that's really amazing. So I know you did talk about like the nutrition and, you know, the best way to heal the skin. Again, does that also plays a role with the genetics of each individual? Or, for example, you did speak on plant-based eating. So do you think you would be able to touch on that just a little bit more, or
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I actually get a lot of messages about this, and it's not to take away from my healers that do herbology when I say this. Herbs are very essential for the body. However, the misconception is this, and a lot of times this is why herbology is not recognized in certain areas as being a direct medicine for healing.
Okay.
To where you can get a license for it in certain areas, because it's not enough science backing it up for the licenses. So we know that botanicals are healing. We know that. So here's the gray area. Once you understand how the body works, when you understand how the body works and you understand it from a cellular level, and you understand how cells work, because it's really about the cells. Excuse me. it's really about the cells. That's what it really is all about. And the skin is the biggest organ of the body. And the cells, there are 1 trillion cells in our body, and they all have a responsibility, even our skin cells. So there's cells everywhere. And these cells need a certain type of food. And just like me and you, we need food. We need food to survive. That's how cells work in our body. They need food to survive as well. But the question is, what type of food do they need to thrive? What type of food do they need to thrive? So being that skin is the biggest organ, it runs through the entire body from the inside and out. You can't really heal other parts of your body if you don't tackle the skin first, because the skin runs everywhere. So it's impossible to not focus on the skin first. So from my expertise, it's like once you tackle the skin from a whole body level, you're gonna optimally heal everything else.
Okay.
So what I'm actually trying to say is okay, so you have these tiny cells in your body, and they all sit in fluid or water. And when we're born, we have about 64% of water in our cells. But then by the time we middle age, we only have that drops to about 45%.
And you're talking about like the different cells in the skin layer, or like all throughout the body?
Just throughout the whole entire body. I'm just every cell in the body. Let's just say every cell in the body needs water. Okay. And every cell in the body sits in water. So in order for each cell in your body to thrive, it has to have lubricant constantly. It has to have a certain amino acids. It has to have certain minerals, and it has to have certain proteins. This is essential, especially for our good bacteria to activate, because bad bacteria will accumulate and find its way in if we don't have a healthy diet, or simply if we don't feed our cells the proper nutrients. But the good bacteria that we have, it feeds off of what we use to power the cells, if that makes sense. So whatever we feed the cells, that's how the good bacteria will react. So as long as we're feeding our cells in our body the right food, then in return, the good bacteria will produce certain proteins for our bodies to naturally heal itself. Because our bodies already have these precious minerals in them. It's just that they're very dormant because we're not feeding the cells to activate them.
Oh, okay. So can you give an example of like a few things that we can eat to ensure that our skin stays healthy? And
okay, so like anything that's watery. So remember when I said the cells need lubricant all the time, 24/7.
Right.
For women and men, it's a little bit different, even though we have 1 trillion cells. Men bodies are a little bit different from ours, so the diet will be a little bit different, but yet the same. Like for example, with men, they need about 2 liters of water a day. And for women, we need about like 1.5 liters a day. But not just any type of water. You can actually, and it's something that is a part of my treatment plan when it comes to the skin health detox treatment. And I'm just going to say this because it's not really a secret. A lot of people call it spa water. They call it by different names, but we call it cellular water.
Okay, I think I've heard of that before, but I didn't really know what it was.
Yeah, it comes from certain fruits and vegetables. Yeah, it comes from fruits mostly. Fruits mostly. but you have a few vegetables that hold a large water content, like cucumbers
Yeah.
and celery. Those are vegetables that hold a very high water content. So they will ultimately feed the cells what it needs. If you're eating them raw, if you add them to your water, and I say, let's do the experiment. You take a few pieces of celery and you take, let's just say, some spring water, and you get a glass pitcher and you drop a few of these pieces of celery in your water. In 15 to 20 minutes, your water is going to taste like celery.
Okay.
It's actually going to neutralize the entire water, that content around it. And it's gonna
like the osmosis between the vegetable or the fruit too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's gonna secrete it's gonna combine like oxygen. And here's the other thing, because I'm really trying to get into biology because it's really deep.
That's
and I don't
fine.
want to go over. So
that's totally fine, because we are here to educate and to encourage people to take care of themselves. So they'll be able to take care of themselves if they understand the reason why, why and how it helps. So
absolutely,
you can go right on ahead.
So oxygen, you need oxygen. The body needs to, okay, so like oxygen is essential, and we only breathe about half of pure oxygen. The rest of it we get from cellular plants. And it takes a certain amount of atoms to combine together to make a healthy environment. So when you take celery, for example, and you combine it with your cells, that celery has a certain amount of oxygen inside of its water content. Right. And your body has a certain amount of water in its water content. So you need two oxygens. Like you need them to rub and hug together, like to activate,
Yeah.
Literally, this is how biology works. So if you are eating or putting something in your body that has no oxygen in it, it's garbage. It's not doing anything to any of your cells in your body, because your body is alive because of the cells in your body. Without the cells, like for example, this is how aging works. When you're the type of person that eats a lot of garbage, and one of my certifications, we call it garbaging.
That's funny.
And it's pretty much garbaging of the cells, which they become zombie cells. And zombie cells are basically cells that's in your body that are not dead per se, but they're just there, not doing anything. They're not when they're supposed to be doing something. So if you have a whole bunch of, let's just say you have more zombie cells than you do live cells in your body, then you age faster. So naturally, we're gonna lose collagen in our skin. We're gonna lose sagging by natural nature. We're gonna lose that. But what happens is we speed up the process when we're garbaging our cells. You can't feed your cells potato chips.
That's true.
We eat these things, but it's all about because they're good, simply just because they're good. Not because they're so much good for us. We just eat them because they're good.
That's because they taste good. You're right.
They taste good. Right, that's it. It's not because they're healthy for us. We eat them because we know we can and because they taste good. But it's garbaging, because garbaging foods are just foods that we eat out of stress, out of being emotional, out of just eating, being gluts. We just do it. Humans do this. Okay, we just do it, but we don't really eat food to live.
Yeah, that's very important. Very important, because people, they want to eat, like you said, to feel good because it tastes good, whatever. But the whole point of us having that hunger pain is to feed something that the body needs.
That's right. Exactly.
That's very important.
It is important. And when you look at it from a cellular level and about up under a microscope, it's different than the average person would look at it. So by me being into biology, everything looks different to me. Even if I decide to eat this potato chip bag, in my mind, I'm like, this is not going to do anything for me. I'm just eating it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drink. I'm never going to go a day without eating something that feeds my cells. We should never go a day without eating something or drinking something to feed our cells. And you have people out there that goes days and weeks and months without eating anything that feeds their cells. And this is why they age so fast. This is where nutrients come in at, and this is where nutritional dermatology come in.
Right.
Because now scientists, our physicians, everything is changing now. Now they're taking a closer look at how diet and nutrition affect the skin, because now you got people like, okay, well, I can put this eczema cream on me and it's going to take away the cosmetic part or the physical part of what people are going to see, but something is still going on in the inside and it's going to keep flaring up. So how do I get rid of it? They're not going to tell you that you can get rid of it by your diet per se. They may mention it. If you notice, you go to the doctor, they may mention and say, well, you know, if you eat this thing, or they might suggest it, but if they don't have an extra endorsement in nutrition, then they're not liable to tell you that your diet plays a part in why your skin looks terrible.
Right. So that, like you said, the eczema, the collagen, feeding the collagen in the skin and ensuring that it's moisturized, you know, in order to have clear and healthy skin. And that's important. Very important. Like you said, it's the largest organ in our body, or on our body.
Absolutely. And then here's another thing that I want to highlight is because I deal with genetics and I have to deal with people individually, some people, genetics are to the point where they can eat all kind of garbage and their skin are still clear. But that does not mean necessarily that they're healthy, because just because your skin is clear, that doesn't mean other parts of your body or your organs are not being diseased.
Right.
That's the clincher, because you might have somebody who eat healthy, but they have, let's just say, black spots on their face. And it could be one thing in their diet that they need to add to get rid of that. But they just don't know unless they talk to a specialist or someone like me. They may be missing one particular protein that they need to add in their diet to get rid of these blemishes.
Right. A protein or maybe an antioxidant or.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's how it works, but they have to take the time out to seek these type of answers and care about themselves. You can't look at the next person and be like, well, why does she has clear skin? What is she doing? And then she goes and tell her, hey, this is what I do. All I do is put Neutrogena on my face, and then this is what all I have to do. And then she goes and do this, and then now she's breaking out.
Right. Because everybody's different. Some things work for. Yeah.
Exactly.
Right. So, as you mentioned, you have a few products that you do make to help, accompany with the healthy eating, obviously, in order for the skin to, look good and also to feel good on the inside. So you spoke a lot about the inside and what we need to do in order to keep our skin healthy from the inside. So what are the things that you have to keep the skin healthy on the outside?
So, I just want to say too, before I introduce these products for the outside of the body, for the epidermis,
yes,
layer, is that all of these products are grafted with natural antioxidants.
Okay.
So basically, what we put inside of our bodies, or what we're supposed to put inside of our bodies, I make into skin products. So you're not only getting the advice from the inside education, but my products are all made from plant food, and things that that can feed the outside as well for the epidermis, and that could possibly, and most times, clear up any physical damage that skin conditions cause, like eczema or dermatitis, or your common just skin disorders that people go through, bad acne, whiteheads, and etc.
Okay.
So what we have at Adbassa Beauty is our natural deodorant.
That's been a very interesting thing for people lately, because they're worried about a lot of traditional cosmetic deodorants that have certain ingredients that they are not, they think might lead to bad health outcomes. So yeah, so your deodorant's a little different in that aspect.
Absolutely. It doesn't have any of the aluminum or a lot of the harsh chemicals that your Dove deodorant have, or your cheap deodorants for $1 that you get from the store, that most people get from Family Dollars, Dollar General. These are extremely natural, made from very simple ingredients, actually. And everybody does theirs different. These were my next product formulations once I finished making soap and master soap years ago. Deodorant was next in line. I simply use a few essential oils that I feel for that particular deodorant that's not harmful to the skin. Now, some of the essentials that I've used in the past, I will tell the customer, if you do have extreme sensitive skin, to just let me know, and maybe I can guide you, because even in the natural world, sometimes things can still irritate us. Like,
oh yes, absolutely.
Like lemongrass is a very powerful essential oil, and if it's put on people with like that suffer from eczema, it'll burn them. So it has to be diluted and mixed very well when using. So I wouldn't recommend someone shaving their underarms and then putting lemongrass on after, unless it was really diluted down.
Oh wow!
Because it's a very strong essential oil, and I offer these in 3 different kinds: lemongrass deodorant, activated charcoal, no, 4 different kinds: cucumber, melon, and mango.
And the mango. Oh, okay.
And mango. And I'm actually gonna change out maybe 1 or 2 this year.
Okay.
I've had some requests from customers, because customer feedback to me is very, very important. I mean, I like to know what the customers like.
Yeah.
So, I may be changing one of my deodorants out to make a new one. And then what we have at Adbassa Beauty is our 8-ounce lotions. Once again, these were a beautiful product. These was the 3rd in line from the Adbassa Beauty formulation that got added to the website. These are top sellers. I stay sold out of these. I'm actually in the process of trying to get them all stocked up for the year once again.
Yeah.
These are the ones that I've made so far, but I have not put them on the website yet to say that they're
okay.
So this is the Hawaiian sandalwood lotion. This is unisex. It smells very enchanting. Made from natural ingredients, mixed very well. Shea butter, mango, Hawaiian sandalwood, jojoba oil, which is very good for the skin. It's more like a wax more so than an oil, which is what a lot of people know about jojoba oil, which is why it's so good for the skin, because it's super hydrating.
Now, can those be used for people that have like an oily skin too?
Oh yeah.
Or oily, okay.
Absolutely.
Oily, sensitive skin.
Yeah, even with sensitive skin, they just can't. I would say with the Hawaiian sandalwood, I wouldn't recommend the lotion on the face because the Hawaiian sandalwood is in there, but on maybe the legs and the arms, if they're not extremely breaking out with eczema, because eczema has direct areas it usually show up.
Yeah.
So it just certain areas, and it just really comes down to the person, you know. So each person should have an idea of what type of skin that they have. So if they do have extreme sensitive skin, or they tend to break out, if they put on perfume or different soaps, I wouldn't personally recommend the lotions. I would recommend maybe the Adbassa Beauty's full body tulip oils.
Oh, okay.
Or the green balm. Adbassa Beauty's green healing balm, which is very good for eczema, which is designed for people with sensitive skin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was like literally designed for people with sensitive skin.
All right.
Okay. So we have the cocoa sugar scrub. This is amazing. Everybody does theirs different, but it took me a while to formulate this beautiful little creation. And it's really made out of real pure cocoa. Cocoa beans. Yes, I chopped them up myself, and I mixed them myself, and it's super hydrated and extremely exfoliating. And yes, I recommend, and these can be used from head to toe. And if you do use it on the face, I do have a regimen for that. Maybe use it once a week to kind of buff the skin, because exfoliation scrubs are really for buffing the skin, taking the dead skin cells away.
Now, is that okay if someone has like acne or something?
Oh yes. Okay. These are so natural to because they have like natural oils in them that don't irritate the skin. They're hydrated. It actually adds to helping people with acne, because a lot of times people with acne, they're probably using like a towel or washcloth that's got color in it. They probably are not exfoliating at all. So sometimes they can break their skin open. So it just depends. Once again, it just really depends on the person, but it won't irritate anybody with acne, especially if they're not overly using it. Just once a week. So we have Adbassa Beauty latest product. Once again, this one took a while to formulate, but once I came up with the formula, I was very pleased, because these are very, very bubbly. Made out of coconut milk, aloe vera, and a lot of other beautiful natural pharmachemicals, as I like to call them, which is basically phytochemicals that come from plants.
Okay.
Super hydrating. It smells wonderful. I'm thinking about coming out with one for the fellas, because maybe they would think that this is sweet, but I don't. I think that these are wonderful for guys too, because a lot of times there's a misconception that just because something is made from flowers, it's just for women. And that's true, because once again, like I was saying earlier about the barnacles, barnacles are universal. They could be used for everybody, but I wouldn't particularly say that it's something that should be the bulk of your diet. If you're trying to cure something in the body, the lungs, the liver, the large intestines, I wouldn't particularly say do a detox of herbs. And that's just from my expertise, because barnacles only play about 15% of our detox or our bodies. Because they're dried out, they've been oxidized. So by them being oxidized, they have lost a large amount of the water in the cells. So they no longer have the oxygen in them. So they may have medicinal properties, but you can't make them the bulk of your diet. And I noticed that that's a big thing going around. And I'm not saying that you can't drink it in the tea, because you get a lot of protein and minerals from the skin.
You mean like using products on the skin, you can absorb those proteins and minerals through there, or?
Yeah, that way. And also, like, when you boil the skin of the flower or the barnacle, you're pretty much getting what's left of that dry plant.
Oh, okay.
Because it's been oxidized. Oxidation is basically when oxygen has been pulled out. It's kind of like if you was to cut yourself and your blood comes out and it dries up.
Right.
It's going to look different from the blood that's running through your body right now. Like,
that's
I use
true.
an example, as crazy as this may seem, and I'm not going to get off of the products, but I use this example because this is what makes sense. If you watch vampire movies, and you see a vampire bite someone, vampires are dead in the inside, which is why they crave everything that's alive. So what they're craving is the live organism or the live oxygen from that particular species that they're trying to kill.
Okay.
So if the person is already dead and the blood is dried up, they don't have any interest. So when you see when they first bite you, they want the adrenaline and the oxygen, the life that's inside of the cells from the blood. Because it takes a few minutes before that blood starts to oxidize. Right. But if they get it,
that's right.
You see what I'm saying? So it's the same way with dried plants versus live. When I say live foods or I say live oxygen, it's anything that has not been stripped from its original state.
Oh, okay. All right. I got you now. So even in teas or whatever, it's still just not the same. Even when the tea is adding the water.
That's right. You're still getting some form of medicinal use, but you can't use it to purify the entire body.
Okay.
You have to have, like, when you bite into, you used to take a celery right now off the tooth and you just pop it. You're gonna feel the water splash. You're gonna feel that live fluid pop on you. Same way as you was to smash a blueberry. You're gonna feel all of that livelihood in there. And that's what, when you eat it, that's what's going into your cells. Your cells are literally absorbing all of that oxygen from fruits and vegetables that's still alive.
Oh, okay.
It hasn't been oxidized yet. So herbs is great. But we can't make it the bulk of our diet because we are live beings.
Okay.
We're alive beings, we're still alive. And in order for our skin to thrive and just our whole body health, we have to eat foods that's still alive.
Mm-hmm.
Literally still alive, so that our body can activate those natural minerals in it to give us the ultimate cleansing that we need. So water, just drinking water is not enough.
Okay.
Drinking
Yes,
water
I think
is
I've
not
heard
enough.
that before too.
Yes, water is definitely not enough.
Yeah.
So yes, I have many products, and this one here is the male genital wash.
Okay.
I've made the bottles bigger so that they can last longer. And these are a little bit more professional, a little bit more classier. And I'm always trying to come up with new ideas for everyone. And of course, the face of Adbassa is the soaps. I make over 26 different soaps. All of them are not on the website because I don't want to get overwhelmed. And some of them are seasonal. So sometimes I may take a particular soap out. Some that I feel like, especially with barnacles, when I'm using barnacles, depending on the barnacles, sometimes they can turn fast in the heat. And sometimes I don't want my customers seeing that, even if it still has the properties in the soap. It's just all about how it looks.
Right.
And some people don't understand that. They might see a flower and they're like, why does this flower look like this in my soap? You know? So I have to be very careful with that. Even though I know you're getting certain properties, the person that's buying is all about, people like the way things look.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So this is the Blue Lotus soap, and it does have the Adbassa Beauty logo. This is cocoa soap. That'll be a good active use to get the cocoa body scrub. And then this is chamomile soap, which is a top seller for people with sensitive skin. You can never go wrong with chamomile soap. That's actually a part of the sensitive skin package on the website.
Oh, so you do have like sensitive skin package, and you also do the consultations anyway. So
yes,
I
do. And, actually, the skincare detox plans that's on the website, international skincare plans, they all have different things that I target when I'm talking to the client. If they want to book it and they want to go full force with the skin detox, what they are able to have access to is free products that come with that I recommend depending on that person's skin type. They also get 30 detox foods that they should be consuming for the skin for 4 to 6 weeks. So there are specific scientific direct foods that is like for the skin. I mean, we can eat a whole lot of different things, but when it comes to biology, and it's all about what you're putting together. So by me having access to this database, I was able to create, with the help of my school, create a 30-day food plan that is directly, it's scientifically backed up for healthier skin. So as long as the person is dedicated on having that skin detox and wanting better skin, then the work really begins. And I give them these recipes, and I give them even vitamins, even skin vitamins. They even get those too, where they take every day. So it's a few things you get in the treatment plan. So.
Oh wow! So a person can get the whole service. So that's good if they have eczema or any sort of blemishing issues, people with dark spots and stuff. And there was one thing I wanted to ask, use of citrus products on darker skin. Is that like an issue? Because for me personally, I've always been scared to try anything that had any citrus in it because I didn't want to like lighten any parts of my skin, like, So
Right.
I don't know if that's a legit concern that I would, have for a person with darker skin, because sometimes I see some products like that and I'm like, I don't know, like I personally never bought anything citrus just because of that reason. So
That's interesting. Well, citrus is actually not bad for the skin at all.
okay. And I'm talking about like applying it topically. Like some people will do like some sort of lemon scrub or something like that. And I'm like, yeah, like, I don't know. I'm not in the skincare thing. I'm here to learn.
I think that it's better when it's taken internally.
Right. Okay.
Because citrus will it will cause discoloration if it burns you.
Oh,
and
okay.
it's like it's really hard to tell if that individual person doesn't seek out help and they're just going off something they see on YouTube. And if you look at a lot of people that's like talking about skincare, like for example in the Asian world, it's always the Korean beauty.
Right.
They got all the secrets of skin, but a lot of their products are catered to Caucasians.
Right.
And that's the thing. And that's who they're really targeting when they are making products. Because in my first school that I went to, International Open Academy, they highlighted to us that Koreans or Asians spend over $1 billion a year just to look like the Caucasians or to cater to their industry. So a lot of their products are not catered to us. So when you see them coming out with this new glow and anti-aging cream and stuff, you have to keep in mind that it may not be for our skin type.
Right. Right.
It may not be for skin of color. And it's a hard pill to swallow, but it is what it is. And that's why what I'm doing is important, because in the next few years, what I am into is gonna be $1 billion company. I mean, it's gonna be a like industry. It's moving that way because now they're also starting to incorporate people like me in dermatology clinics.
Oh, okay.
And
I did not know that.
It's becoming a really big thing where they're seeking out nutritional dermatologists, because we didn't only just study the nutrition part of skin, but we also had to study the medical side of skin as well, with less of the time of going to school for a traditional dermatologist, which is great. So for citrus, it's not bad for you at all.
Okay.
At all. I suggest that everybody cut up a lime or a lemon at least once a week and put it in the water or their tea, because it's got a chemical called limazine in it. And it has like real high properties of anti-aging. So it's really good for you. Now, if they're diluting it inside of the cream, I think that's okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you were talking about different clinics or wellness centers. And so so you have things planned in store for the future of Adbassa Beauty?
I do. I'm moving up. It's been a long road. It's been a long road. And when I look back at 2014, I remember just being this person with a PayPal account. Because I know where I came from. And that's what keeps me humble. That's what keeps me alive. That's what to show so much humility to people and humanity, because I remember when I was there and I wasn't sure. I just knew that I wanted to help people. And I didn't know anything about designing websites or Facebook pages or anything. I just took this. I didn't even have an upgraded phone. I just knew what I was putting in my products, and I'm like, I know that they're awesome, but these people are on the other side don't know that. Right. So I'm just gonna give it a try. And at first, it just started off as me trying to help the people in my circle, or right. But then I'm like, no, I want to be global. I want to help everybody. Yeah. So I had to be universal. I'm like, you can't truly be a dermatologist or a skin specialist or anything like that if your goal is not to help all people. Right. It's a humanitarian job, you know. Yes, absolutely. Even though my focus is to highlight my own people, I'm still showing love for all races. For everybody. Right. It's a universal knowledge, and it's not fair for me to have all of this type of knowledge and not share it with everyone. Right. Right. So the practice is the next manifestation. And I think it's gonna be, I'm smiling because I got so many things in the works for it. And it's also not just gonna be a wellness center for profit, it's also gonna be under nonprofit. Because it's educational. So some form of degree, I'm gonna have a certain area where it's nonprofit, a nonprofit one where I'm just educating people, or more focused on the youth, because a lot of the youth don't go into dermatology or just nutritional dermatology and just holistic and health. And I think for their generation is very important. So at the wellness center, I'll be able to really have one-on-one with my customers. They'll be able to come in there and purchase the products on site, so that I can be a little bit more well-rounded with the community, because my goal is to really be in the community. And when you just have an online business, you're in the community, but you're not in the community. And I want to be in the community where someone's walking and they're like, wow, what is that? You know, they come in and now they're getting the full teachings of what this practice is about. And I really want to just be up and personal, face-to-face with my customers, so I can talk to them and they can kind of just see what I have to offer. We're going to have skin drinks. We're going to have skin vitamins. It's going to be amazing. And I'm even facials. If you want to come and get a plant-based facial, like I'm going to have all of that. And I'm adding things to Adbassa Beauty, like I'm working on like face masks, the ones that you can just peel off. Oh, okay. That's good. And it's just gonna be beautiful. And I'm gonna do classes. I'm gonna have events, you know, just to educate the community on skin. So I'm really trying to, and then some medical equipment that I need to help my customers with their treatment plans. It's not really like intense medical equipment. It's just mostly for like facials and things like that, and just certain ingredients that I need to make sure that my customers get what they need. Yeah, in order to get the best care. And, you know, because even with what I'm doing, I'm able to accept insurance plans. Oh, okay, that's good. Yeah, that is really good, especially for people if they have any type of health issue or whatever. That has been like a huge issue
is, will my insurance cover this? You know, sometimes these type of services, they might be, you know, too much for what the person is getting weekly, monthly, or whatever the case is. So, you know, that is good to keep in mind. Definitely being able to accept insurance.
And that's wonderful, because that goes to show me how deep the science really backs it up. And
Yes.
to for me to even be able to accept insurance plans.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know at this moment what type of insurance I'll be able to accept until I actually open up the practice.
Okay.
But maybe even before I open up the practice, because I have the treatment plans online.
Mm-hmm.
So graduation is near.
Mm-hmm.
After I get the full license, because right now I'm certified. Right. So I'm able to teach and things like that. But I'm up for my exam this Saturday. So once I get the license, that would enable me to open up the building. Okay. So the building is there, but you know, I want to make sure I have everything where I need it to be, so people can know, hey, we can trust this sister, we can trust this lady, and I'm not just out here on Facebook just saying stuff that sounds good. Because you know, nowadays you got people doing that, like everybody. Yeah, I know. I don't know what nobody is doing, but I do feel like we should be relearning the things that was taken from us. Yes. So that way we can put it back into the community, into our own people, and then they can trust us, and just make sure we're following protocol. Yes, because you know, that's important. Disagreeable devils come in, they're like, hey, wait a minute, you got license to do that? You know, so I just want to make sure that everything I'm worked for is legitimate. And I want customers to know, hey, I loved you all enough to go to school for this long. To learn this, and I'm not just this person on Facebook that's trying to take your money. I'm really wanting to help you, because I love skin, and I've worked years on my skin, and the place that it's at now, and the even my daughters, to see my daughter suffering from eczema for years because she was taking she had real bad asthma when she was younger, and the effect of how eczema flared up because of the asthma, because they coincide with each other. And for me to watch myself cure her was amazing to me, especially when I made the green balm for the first time, and she rubbed it on herself twice a day. I seen the eczema in 2 weeks. I seen her skin clear, and I was like, whoa, wait a minute. So
we love to hear those good stories. Yes. Yes.
Not to say I didn't believe in myself, but when you see something happen with your own eyes, you're like, nothing worked. Nothing worked. So by me going to school and learning about all of these plant foods and formulations, and I'm like, okay, so if I put this compound together and this compound, you know, I can create this, and then this will happen. And that's exactly what happened. And that's why I'm very confident in the green balm, and that's why I think it's one of my top sellers, because other people, even little babies, I've had people buy it for their infant children. And they're like, wow, this is amazing.
That's awesome.
So I'm
great news.
I'm on to something. Okay. And I'm happy about it. And little or small, to some people, I'm here, you know, but in my mind, I see this big area of Adbassa Beauty, and every year something amazing happened with Adbassa Beauty, and I just see myself leveling up because I haven't stopped. And I tell people, even with passion, I'm like, the reason why I'm where I'm at is because I never stopped. I just never stopped. I just kept doing it. I just never stopped.
Kept on going.
You just got to keep going.
Yeah. So that is awesome. I know I enjoy Adbassa Beauty products.
Yes, you look guilty.
I love them. I love it. They smell great, feel great. My skin. I love washing my face because everything is just so smooth. Like, you know, I
Wow.
love it. So
You've been a customer for so long. And I told myself, I did this loyal customer thing last year, and I'm like, I gotta acknowledge my loyal customers. Like, I got loyal customers. I do. I got a fan base, but I got some ones that I really have to acknowledge. And it's only about 5 that's been with me when I was here. Okay? That just, I don't know. Like, it makes me happy when I see you, when I see these group of other people that's constantly, it's just like, you're talking about over 3 years of dedication, of support. That's like anything, like, y'all believed in me when I was gonna quit.
Oh, wow.
It was times where I'm like, well, stuff for me, and I've had those thoughts, okay, and y'all was still there. Y'all was still there, and when I saw that, I'm like, wait a minute, I gotta keep going. I gotta keep going, and here I am, and I got my logo on my soaps. That took years to get it to that point, and I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Look at this.
So with the skin therapy center, the wellness center, are you're accepting donations or anything to help you get on there? And if so, where can people donate to? Like, we got a Cash App or something like that, or
So I do have a fundraiser going on for the communities to support. Any amount is welcome. Even if I don't get the full amount, it's just the thought of people caring enough to know what I'm trying to do for humanity, because it is a humanity service. It's educational, and we don't have a lot of Black women of myself opening up places like this, and that's really what I'm trying to get people to really like see. Like, this is major for us in this day and time, for our people to really want to educate each other on the importance of our body and what we're made of.
Right.
So yes, I am taking donations. My fundraiser is on Facebook.
Okay.
And
then okay. Go ahead.
It's on Facebook. I'm not really sure how it works because I haven't really done the fundraisers. Maybe one time before. I share it to my page, my Facebook page. I have 2 Facebook pages.
Well, do you have a Cash App? Like, can people donate through Cash App if that's possible?
Yes.
Okay.
They can actually donate I have the fundraiser on my Instagram page, story, Adbassa_Beauty Instagram, and that's A as in apple, D as in dog, B as in boy, A as in apple, SSA Beauty _ I'm sorry, Adbassa_Beauty. I just said the whole name. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I hope
I'm gonna link it all in the bottom under anyway.
It's Adbassa_Beauty. It's in my story. They should be able to click on it, donate. Also, my Cash App is Adbassa Beauty 9.
Okay.
Adbassa Beauty 9.
All
and
right.
all donations are welcome. I'm actually looking to open this up within a year.
Okay.
So maybe next March. I'm definitely hoping to open this up. 2020 went by so fast. So I feel like, look, we're already in March. in
I
2020.
know. I know.
So
Yeah.
that seems like a long way, but that just means that from now until December or January, I have a lot of work to put in.
Right.
To make this happen. So this is where a lot of my time is going into this building project. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Mrs. Tawanna, for coming on to educate all of my fellow survivors, thrivers, and healers on the importance of skin health, skin care, you know, like you say, the largest organ, very important. And just thank you so much for your time. Anything else you want to quickly say, or think you got it all covered?
I just want to thank you for having me on this interview with you. I felt very divine talking with you today. I can really feel your care and love, and that makes me very, very happy. So I just want to say thank you for having me on here and just acknowledging me and all that I do. And I really, really hope that people really take heed or just support your platform, because in this day and time, it's very, very important to support people like you that is bringing awareness to the community about healers and people that's into holistic care or dermatology, just from a whole different level, you know. Right. So thank you. And thank everyone else for watching.
All right, and thank you. Okay.
All right, you have a good day. Night.
Night.